welcome to the deep dive.
Yeah.
We're getting to the heart of your questions.
Right to the heart of it.
You shared your burning desire to find a career that you love.
Yes.
So we're diving into excerpts from Do What You Are to help you do just that.
Okay.
And,
It's a classic guide
Yeah.
to using personality types for career satisfaction.
Uh-huh.
And it all starts with the pretty mind-blowing fact.
Right.
Most people will have 5 to 7 different careers in their lifetime.
5 to 7. Seriously.
Hmm.
That's a lot of change. I mean, it makes sense in this ever-evolving world, but that number still makes me a little dizzy.
Yeah.
I bet a lot of you listening are thinking about the practical challenges, the financial hits, the family obligations,
Right.
the fear of unemployment.
Those are all real concerns.
Right.
But Do What You Are argues that understanding your personality type can actually help you navigate those challenges more effectively.
Oh, interesting.
It can help you make smarter career choices that align with your natural strengths and values.
Ultimately leading to more stability and satisfaction.
So this deep dive is all about empowering you to make those choices. What really struck me was the book's focus on self-awareness.
Yes.
There's this anecdote about Ellen, this amazing computer whiz who got passed over for a promotion. And what's fascinating is that it wasn't because she lacked the skills, but because she was an introvert in a workplace that valued extroverted qualities.
Right.
Ellen thrived in the world of data and systems, but struggled with the social maneuvering that often comes with climbing the corporate ladder.
Yes, exactly.
That's a great example of how understanding your personality type isn't just about identifying your strengths. It's also about recognizing potential blind spots
Yeah.
and developing strategies to navigate them. So for those listening, think about your own workplace. Are there areas where your personality might be working against you?
That's a great question.
Right?
And that's where the book's exploration of the 4 personality dimensions comes in.
Extroversion, introversion, sensing, intuition, thinking, feeling, and judging, perceiving.
Oh, we're going back to basics a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to assume you have a basic understanding of these.
Exactly.
But we'll quickly recap.
It's like each dimension is a spectrum.
Right.
And where you fall influences how you approach work, solve problems, and even handle stress.
Now, the book uses a bunch of really relatable examples.
Okay.
Like Jerry, the introvert, who nearly had a meltdown
Okay.
when his oversharing coworker spilled personal details after a simple dinner invitation.
Poor Jerry. It's like that coworker completely missed the memo on boundaries.
Right. And this highlights how understanding introversion can help you set those boundaries.
Yeah.
Create a work environment that supports your needs and ultimately avoid unnecessary stress. Then there's the example of Elizabeth, a sensor,
Right.
who was immediately alarmed by a company financial crisis, while Jim, an intuitive, focused on the big picture solutions.
Oh, that's so interesting. It's fascinating how different personality types process information.
Right.
Elizabeth, focused on the concrete facts and figures, saw the immediate danger, while Jim, the intuitive, saw the potential for innovation and opportunity amidst the chaos.
Exactly.
It's like having different lenses to view the same situation.
Right.
And both perspectives are valuable.
Yes.
Imagine how much more effective a team could be if they understood and appreciated those different perspectives.
Right.
Absolutely. Okay, let's move on to thinking and feeling.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us have encountered the leave your emotions at the door mentality in the workplace.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
It's a common misconception.
Yeah.
And the book challenges it head on.
Okay.
Remember Robert, the assistant dean who had to decide on disciplinary action for a student.
Okay.
Instead of just focusing on the rule violation, he considered the student's remorse, their academic record, and the potential impact on their family.
So he was a feeler.
He was a feeler.
And he took the time to understand the human element of the situation. It wasn't about being soft. It was about making a balanced and compassionate decision.
Right.
I also love the example of Lauren, the feeler, who worked with Bert, a thinker, in an editorial department.
Oh, yeah.
They balanced each other out perfectly.
They did. That's a great illustration of how understanding your personality type can help you build stronger working relationships. Imagine if every team could identify their thinkers and feelers,
Right.
leverage their unique strengths, and create a more harmonious work environment.
Now, I have to ask about the example of Tony the feeler, who was stranded by an engine fire. And his boss's reaction was less than sympathetic.
Oh, gosh.
Talk about adding insult to injury.
Right, and it highlights how crucial it is to understand that different personality types process and respond to situations in very different ways.
Okay.
Tony's boss, likely a thinker, probably saw the delay as an inconvenience, while Tony, the feeler, was dealing with the emotional fallout of a pretty terrifying experience.
It's like they were speaking different languages.
Yes.
But if they both understood their respective personality types, they could have communicated more effectively and avoided unnecessary conflict.
Absolutely.
So, for those of you listening, think about the different personality types you encounter at work.
Right.
Are you communicating in a way that resonates with them?
Powerful question.
Right.
And it leads us to the next level of understanding personality types.
Okay.
Dominant and auxiliary functions.
Okay.
Think of these as your career superpowers.
Superpowers. I'm intrigued.
Your dominant function is your go-to strength,
Uh-huh.
the one you rely on naturally.
Yeah.
Your auxiliary function supports and balances your dominant function,
Oh,
making you more well-rounded.
interesting.
Do What You Are even uses visuals to illustrate how these functions work for different types, which can be really helpful.
Oh, cool. So finding work that aligns with both your dominant and auxiliary functions is key to feeling truly fulfilled in your career.
Exactly. Think of it this way. If you're a thinker with a strong sensing function, you might excel in a job that requires both logical analysis and a keen eye for detail.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But what if you've been in a career that doesn't really align with your personality type?
Yeah.
Is it too late to switch gears?
Not at all.
Oh, good.
And that's where Do What You Are introduces this game-changing concept
Okay.
called type development.
This is where it gets really interesting. Tell us more.
So while your core personality type is set early in life,
Okay.
your personality continues to evolve and mature over time.
Interesting.
It's like your third and fourth functions,
Uh-huh.
the ones that aren't as strong in your younger years,
Yeah.
start to develop as you gain experience and self-awareness.
Wait, so you're saying that even though my personality type is essentially formed by age 6, I don't fully come online until, I'm in my mid-20s?
That's right.
Really?
And this type of development can be a huge asset in the workplace. It allows you to become more adaptable, more well-rounded, and even more understanding of others.
So even if someone hasn't been using their natural strengths in their career,
Mhm.
it's never too late to tap into their full potential. It's actually really encouraging to hear.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the book provides a ton of real-life examples to back that up.
Okay.
We're going to dive into those examples in part 2, but for now, let's take a moment to reflect.
Okay.
Think about your own career journey.
Uh-huh.
Have you noticed your personality evolving over time?
That's a great question for all of us to ponder. And on that note, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll share some truly inspiring stories of people who found fulfilling careers by understanding and embracing their personality types. Welcome back to our deep dive into Do What You Are. We're about to explore some real-life examples of how people from all walks of life found careers that light them up.
Yeah, these stories
Yeah.
really drive home the point that it's not about forcing yourself into a specific job
Right.
just because it fits your type. It's about understanding the underlying motivations
Yeah.
and strengths that lead to genuine career satisfaction.
Right. It's about finding that sweet spot where your personality, your passions, and your skills all align.
Exactly.
The book's example of Emily, the INFP, who thrived as a freelance graphic designer, really resonated with me.
Yeah, that one's a classic.
Yeah.
It highlights how important freedom and autonomy are for INFPs.
Yes.
They crave creative expression without being micromanaged.
Yeah.
A traditional corporate setting might stifle their unique spark,
Right.
but freelancing gives them the space to flourish.
It's like they need room to breathe and let their imaginations run wild.
Exactly.
And then there's Dan, the ENTJ, who went from military service to a successful career as a consultant and conflict resolution expert.
Uh-huh.
Talk about a career 180.
Wow. Yeah, what's interesting is that both careers actually tap into core ENTJ strengths. Leadership, strategic thinking, and a drive to make a difference.
Uh-huh.
It shows how those traits can be applied across vastly different fields.
So it's not about being limited by your type. It's about finding the right environment to let those strengths shine.
Yes, exactly.
And speaking of shining, the book also talks about Jane, an INTJ, who found her niche in community grant making.
That's a great example of how INTJs can leverage their intuition and big picture thinking to make a tangible impact.
Right.
They're often drawn to complex problem solving.
Yeah.
And what's more complex than tackling community issues?
Right. And then there's Brent, an ENTP, who's killing it in the world of technology.
Yes.
It's like his logical mind and knack for systems were made for that field.
ENTPs are fueled by curiosity and innovation, so it's no surprise they gravitate towards fields that are constantly pushing boundaries. Technology is basically their playground.
It's amazing how diverse these examples are.
It is.
We've got freelancers, consultants, grant makers, tech wizards. It really shows that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to career success.
Right.
But what about the folks who love bringing people together?
Yeah.
Do what you are doesn't leave them out, does it?
Absolutely not.
Right.
Take Marilyn, an ESFP, who channeled her warmth and energy into starting her own special events company.
Oh, wow.
ESFPs are all about creating memorable experiences and bringing joy to others.
Yeah.
So event planning is a natural fit.
It's like they turn work into a party.
Yeah.
I could totally see that.
Yeah.
And then there's Doug, an ESTP, who leveraged his amazing networking skills to land a management training job.
ESTPs have a knack for connecting with people and spotting opportunities.
Right.
Networking comes naturally to them, so it makes sense that they would excel in roles that require building relationships and creating those win-win situations.
So far, we've seen extroverts and intuitives shining in their careers.
Right.
But what about those introverted sensors?
Yeah.
Do they get the same love in the book?
Of course. Remember Glenda, the ISTJ, who thrived as a school principal? She used her organizational skills, decisiveness, and attention to detail to create a structured and supportive environment for her students and staff.
That makes perfect sense. ISTJs are often drawn to structure and clear expectations.
Right.
And what better place to implement that than in a school setting?
Exactly. And then there's Jackie, another ISTJ, who found immense satisfaction as a special assistant to a visionary executive director.
Oh, okay.
She was the one who kept everything running smoothly behind the scenes while the big ideas were being generated.
So she provided that much-needed grounding and support for the team's more creative endeavors.
Yes.
It's like she was the anchor that kept the ship from drifting off course.
Exactly. It's a great example of how not everyone needs to be in the spotlight to find fulfillment.
Right.
Some people thrive in those supporting roles,
Yeah.
where they can use their organizational skills and quiet strengths to ensure success.
It's all about finding that perfect fit,
Yes.
that role where you feel valued and can contribute in a way that feels meaningful.
Right.
Speaking of which, the book also features Dave, an ESTP, who found success in property management.
ESTPs are known for their practicality and their focus on results. Property management is a fast-paced, hands-on field
Yeah.
where you need to solve problems quickly and efficiently.
Right.
It's the perfect environment for an ESTP to thrive.
It's like they see a challenge and think, bring it on.
Yes.
They don't shy away from hard work,
Yeah.
and they get a real sense of accomplishment from seeing tangible results.
Exactly.
But what about those who crave a bit more personal connection in their work?
Right.
Do What You Are has got them covered too.
They do.
Remember Nancy, the ISTJ, who landed her dream job as a hospital director of nursing?
Yes.
It might seem counterintuitive for an ISTJ, who are often seen as reserved, to be drawn to such a people-oriented field.
That's true.
Right. But when you think about it, nursing requires a strong sense of duty,
Yes.
attention to detail, and a commitment to providing quality care.
Yes.
These are all classic ISTJ strengths.
Exactly.
And then there's Robin, the ISFJ, who found the perfect balance of logic and care in her role as a legal assistant.
ISFJs are known for their loyalty, their meticulousness, and their supportive nature.
Right.
I can see how those qualities would make them invaluable members of a legal team.
Absolutely. They excel at providing that steady, behind-the-scenes support that keeps everything running smoothly.
Exactly.
This is incredible.
Yes.
We've seen how different personality types can find fulfilling careers in fields ranging from education and healthcare to technology and entrepreneurship.
Right.
It's like there's a whole world of possibilities out there.
It is.
But what about the folks who are drawn to more traditional career paths?
Mm-hmm.
Do What You Are addresses that too.
That. Remember Connie, the ISTJ, who had a long and rewarding career in education? That's a classic example of how individuals with strong sensing and judging preferences, often called traditionalists, can find fulfillment in structured traditional environments.
Connie's story really resonated with me.
Yeah.
She loved the routine, the clear expectations, and the opportunity to make a positive impact on her students' lives. It was a perfect match for her personality and her values.
And then there's Morty, another ISTJ, who found success as an accountant.
Okay.
He gradually built his own practice, finding that sweet spot between professional accomplishment and a fulfilling personal life.
Hmm.
It's a great reminder that career satisfaction isn't just about finding the right job, also about creating the right lifestyle.
Absolutely. It's about aligning your work with your values and priorities.
Yes.
Speaking of priorities, the book also features Lou, the ISTP, who followed his passion for investigation through a series of roles, ultimately landing a challenging position in a death penalty unit.
Lou's story is fascinating because it highlights how ISTPs, with their love of hands-on problem solving and their drive to uncover the truth, can find fulfillment in fields that others might find intimidating.
It's like they have this innate curiosity and this fearless determination to get to the bottom of things.
Right.
And speaking of getting to the bottom of things, remember Christine, another ISTP, who found her calling as a biomedical equipment technician.
Yeah.
She was drawn to the technical challenges,
Uh-huh.
the hands-on aspects of the work, and the adrenaline rush that came with knowing her skills could save lives.
Christine's story is a great example of how ISTPs, with their love of understanding how things work and their ability to stay calm under pressure, can excel in roles that require both technical expertise and quick thinking.
This is amazing.
Yeah,
It seems like there's a career out there for every personality type.
it does.
But Do What You Are doesn't just stop at matching you with a job.
Right.
It also offers strategies for excelling in that job, right?
Exactly. In part 3, we'll dive into how understanding your personality type can help you navigate workplace dynamics,
Okay.
build stronger relationships, and ultimately reach your full potential.
So stick with us, listeners. We're about to unlock even more secrets to career success. Welcome back to The Deep Dive. We've been exploring how understanding your personality type can help you find a career path that you love.
Right.
But as we all know, getting the job is just the first step. How do you then excel in that role and really make it your own?
Yeah, that's where things get even more interesting. Do What You Are goes beyond just matching you with the job.
Okay.
It gives you strategies for navigating the unique challenges
Right.
of your personality type within that workplace. It's like having a cheat sheet
Uh-huh.
for maximizing your strengths
Right.
and minimizing your weaknesses.
Okay, so give us the inside scoop. How does this work in real life?
Okay.
The book talks about John, the ESTP,
Yeah.
who became a successful stockbroker,
Yeah.
which seems kind of counterintuitive for someone who's known for being spontaneous and risk-taking.
Right. But what's cool about John's story is that as he matured,
Yeah.
he developed his less dominant functions.
Mhm.
His natural enthusiasm and drive were balanced out by a growing appreciation for logic and long-term planning.
Interesting.
He didn't lose that ESTP boldness, but he learned to temper it with strategic thinking, which is crucial in a field like finance.
So it's not about changing your personality.
Right.
It's about understanding how your different functions work together
Exactly.
and how to leverage them effectively in different situations.
Exactly.
And the book has examples for all types.
Yes.
Remember Art, the other ESTP,
Yes.
who was both a pilot and an entrepreneur?
Yes.
He found a way to combine his love of adventure
Right.
with his business savvy.
Yes.
For him, it was all about finding a career that felt more like play than work.
Right.
I think a lot of us can relate to that desire.
Absolutely.
But what about folks who aren't naturally drawn to like high-flying, action-packed careers?
Uh-huh.
How can someone who's more introverted and analytical, like an INTJ, thrive in a fast-paced, people-oriented environment?
Do What You Are provides insights for all types, even those that seem like a mismatch
Right.
for certain fields.
Yeah,
Remember Anna, the INTJ who excelled in marketing?
right. I was surprised by that one, too. You wouldn't think an INTJ, who's often seen as reserved and analytical, would be a natural fit for such a social and creative field.
Right, but what Anna did was leverage her strategic thinking and analytical skills to develop highly effective marketing campaigns.
Right.
She might not have been the life of the party at networking events, but she had the data and the insights to back up her ideas.
So she found a way to play to her strengths within that environment.
Exactly.
But marketing can be pretty demanding, especially in terms of communication and interpersonal skills.
Yeah.
Did the book address how INTJs can navigate those challenges?
It definitely did. Do What You Are encourages INTJs to be aware of their tendency to be overly critical or to come across as detached.
Huh?
It advises them to focus on developing their communication and interpersonal skills, which can help them build stronger relationships and present their ideas more effectively.
It's about recognizing those blind spots
Yes.
that come with every personality type
Right.
and finding ways to mitigate them.
Yeah. It's about having a strategy for success.
We've talked about how extroverts, introverts, sensors, and intuitives can approach their careers, but what about thinkers and feelers?
Right.
How can they leverage their unique strengths to excel?
Well, we can't forget about Larry, the ISFP, who was so passionate about his work as a pediatrician.
Yeah.
He was truly driven by his desire to help children
Yeah.
and make a difference in their lives. His story is a beautiful illustration of how ISFPs can thrive in careers that align with their deep sense of compassion and values. His dominant feeling function and auxiliary sensing function made him both empathetic and attentive to his patients' needs.
He wasn't just treating illnesses.
Right.
He was connecting with his patients on a human level.
Exactly. And then there's Joanna, another ISFP, who followed her heart to become a marine mammal trainer. She combined her love of animals with her desire to connect with both creatures and people, creating a career that felt truly meaningful to her.
I love that. It reminds us that career satisfaction isn't just about salary or job title.
Right.
It's about finding that sense of purpose, that alignment with what truly matters to you.
Absolutely. And do what you are goes a step further.
Okay.
It emphasizes that understanding personality types isn't just beneficial for individuals. It's also crucial for building stronger teams and organizations. Remember the example of Mark, the idealist, who was instrumental in launching a new hospital unit. His insights about community support were essential for the project's success.
Yeah.
But his approach was very different from the more task-oriented members of the team.
Right. His focus on people and relationships provided a crucial balance.
Yes.
It's like he brought that human touch
Yes.
that's so often missing in large-scale projects.
Exactly. Understanding personality types allows leaders to create teams where diverse strengths are valued and where individuals can support each other's growth.
Yeah.
It's not just about fitting the person to the job.
Right.
It's about fitting people to each other
Yes.
to create a more harmonious and productive work environment.
Wow. This has been an incredible deep dive.
Yeah,
We've covered
yeah.
so much ground,
Yeah.
from understanding the basics of personality types to exploring how this knowledge can be applied to career choices, workplace interactions, and even team dynamics.
Right.
It's like, do what you are has given us a whole new lens through which to view the world of work.
And what's so empowering about this knowledge
Right.
is that it gives you the tools
Yeah.
to take control of your own career journey.
Right.
It allows you to understand your strengths, your values, and your unique way of interacting with the world so that you can make choices that lead to genuine fulfillment.
It's like having a roadmap for navigating the often confusing and overwhelming world of work.
So as we wrap up,
Yeah.
I encourage you to continue exploring your own personality type.
Yeah.
Dive deeper into do what you are and let its insights guide you on your path to finding work that you truly love.
And remember, listeners, it's never too late to discover your strengths, embrace your unique talents, and create a career that brings you joy, purpose, and a sense of accomplishment. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.